All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the show, Ashmi.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Mike, welcome back to the show.
Great to be back.
Ashmi just mentioned we were talking about so many different things, and off air she used the word, which is one of my favorite word, energy.
Yes.
Right? The energy that is right now, not just in this table, but the energy that we feel in 2026. How is that? I want to ask both of you, since we're in the beginning of the year, how does 2026 look for you? Mike, why don't you start? How does it look for you?
I think the energy is high. It's so full of possibilities for everybody, for the United States, for Nepal, for all of us in this room. And, before we started filming, we were talking about perspective too, right? Yeah. And I think your perspective defines that energy as well. So it's up to us to have a positive perspective moving forward into this year.
That's 100% right. 10 years of being Miss Nepal, right? 2016 was when you were Miss Nepal.
Yes. Oh my God.
You want to share about how this year is going to pan out?
Oh my God.
Energy-wise?
I don't know. Something about 2026. I've been like, okay, this is my year. But again, I see many people saying that. So maybe it's the positivity that's in the air, some kind of, I don't know, let's do this, let's get this done kind of energy that's there. So I feel the same way. Not just in a personal level, also for our country. I'm very hopeful. I'm very, very, very hopeful about how things are going to go. So yeah, I'm entering 2026 with, I'm fully charged.
Charged.
Yeah, fully charged. I'm glad that I'm doing this in the beginning days itself. And Creators Mela being a big part of it. So in 2026, I have this vision for myself that I want to express more.
Yeah.
I want to put myself out there very consciously about things that I believe in, things that I've been planning for myself. Because, so far I've done 10 years in this industry. I've not been very vocal. I've not been very, expressive about the things that I believe in, and I want to do this year. So
no, I'm glad. I'm really, really happy. I see a different side of Ashmi on the podcast, this time around. And again, 2026 just feels like our year.
Yeah.
Year for Nepal, year for US-Nepal ties to be more stronger, the year for creators to go ahead and do amazing work, not just in Nepal, but all around the world. True. It just feels like our year. It just feels like that, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Ashmi, you mentioned vision and you mentioned the Creators Mela. And this year, the tagline, the slogan for our Creators Mela is from vision to venture. So really, how do you take your passion, your ideas, this inkling of a feeling, and really just expand it and grow it and make it into something big and sustainable? And so, what we're trying to do with the Mela is just build on all this momentum that, we've been building with the Mela in the past iterations, building on all these ideas, all this creativity, and make it something bigger and sustainable. And, just so grateful to have you, Sanjay, and you, Ashmi, and all of Nepal's top creators coming together over 3 cities over the next 3 weeks to really just share the best practices on how to scale your vision and share that with the folks in Chitwan, Nepalgunj, and back here in Kathmandu.
Thank you, Mike, for having us. It really means a lot to be part of this big event.
No shadow of a doubt on that. Mike, I'm really glad. I just want to say this to friends who are listening, as well as to the US Embassy as well, for venturing outside of Kathmandu. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, we went to Itari and we went to Pokhara.
Right.
This year, we're in Chitwan, and then, this year we're in Nepalgunj, and then we're also in Chitwan first, if I'm not mistaken. So going out of the city, out of the capital, that means so much personally to me. Creators from outside the capital, they are a part of this now. They get to go ahead and learn from creators across the country. That means so much to me. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. We, of course, we love Kathmandu, but we want to, share the love and get outside of the orbit of Kathmandu. There's a lot of great events happening here all the time, but there's just so much talent and creativity around the entire country. And we saw that last April, when we had the Creators Mela in Itari and Pokhara. We honestly we were taking a little bit of a risk though, right? Because we had never done something this big outside of the capital. But in Itari, people were outside the door waiting to get into the event. 1,000 people at that Mela, and also in Pokhara, another 1,000 people, and just really great energy. And, it's funny, beforehand, people were kind of joking about, some people a little more laid back, especially in Pokhara. Pokhara takes it a little bit easy, but people were in line and on time for our events. And, that just bodes so well for Chitwan and Nepalgunj. The registration numbers are already in the thousands for these events.
Yeah.
And I think just looking at the content that we've put out there so far, featuring both of you, so thank you for that. It's reached over 5 million people so far. So just really good engagement thus far, and a good indication of what we can expect in Chitwan, Nepalgunj, and in the finale back here in Kathmandu.
People are excited about it, and that means the most. Ashmi, when did you start your social media game? All right, was it Instagram? Was it Facebook? Was it something else? YouTube? What did you start off with?
High five.
High five.
What's high five?
Remember? Oh, you know, or you don't.
I've heard of it, but remind the audience maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you go for it.
It used to be a very, I don't know, some very funky looking. Is it still there?
Something like this, yeah. Something like this.
It used to be very. If I think about it, Facebook used to be much simpler. We thought like Facebook was for older people back then. Maybe it still is. I don't know. But then Facebook used to be more serious. High five was a little laid back, casual. Yeah, you chat. If you like somebody, you approach there. You write it on their wall. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
You put stickers. So it used to be like that. That is when it started. But my public profile, of course, it was Instagram, and I remember. I only made my profile public after winning Miss Nepal. I made a different official page as a Miss Nepal. That is 2016. So everything that I've earned in my official page on Instagram, that is only after Miss Nepal. That is over the 10 years of time. But I started social media way before that.
You have a lot of followers, Ashmi. A lot of followers, all right?
It's crazy.
It's insane. I wanna jump in and talk a bit about the platform that she mentioned. I grew up with this platform too. It was equivalent to MySpace.
Okay.
Very similar to MySpace back in the day. So I had a High Five and MySpace. All right. And then we all transitioned to Facebook. As soon as Facebook took off, everybody went to Facebook.
Yeah, we all did.
We all went to Facebook. The moment Instagram came, I was so excited, because that was a place which felt like this was mine.
But remember, Instagram used to be a photo editing app before. Because if I check my older profile, I'd have this random pictures which I was just using
to edit,
but it's still there. But the older profile.
Show Ashmi's Instagram to everybody.
Oh my God.
Mike, when did you start tell us a little bit about your social media game.
So Facebook originally was just for college students. So, I'm a little bit older than you guys, I think. I graduated from UCLA in California in 2004. And my girlfriend at the time got me a Facebook account just so we could keep in touch as I moved off into the world. So we had the wall and everything. Everyone was just leaving comments to each other just for college students at the time. So all the way back in 2004, I got my account on Facebook. And
2004.
Yeah. So how long? 22 years ago.
Yeah. Long time ago.
That app has gone through so many evolutions, and now here we are with Instagram.
With Instagram, go a little bit up. Ashmi has Mike, help me out with it. Is it 551K?
Yeah, 551K.
Yeah. Right. Damn. You started with 0.
Yes, 2016. So 10 years, I gained over 5 lakh followers.
5 lakh followers. Yeah. And then show everybody Mike's Instagram too. We have to go ahead and do that as well. There you go.
I'm working my way up to 5K.
No, but Mike, like I said before, your Instagram game is really good.
Oh, thank you.
Really good. I
appreciate
love how you go around Kathmandu. It's like Mike in Kathmandu. Like, how they say Emily in Paris says Mike in Kathmandu.
It's weird in this position as a diplomat here in Nepal, because this account was my personal account.
Yeah.
But just through the nature of what I do, especially here in Nepal, I'm just, adding a little bit of a mix in terms of just some of the other activities I do through the embassy, but also just my personal life too. And just, I think as a society, we're kind of in this evolution in terms of what we do present on social media. So it is this merging of personal and professional life that we're all kind of trying to navigate right now, frankly.
But I feel like it also works. I mean, when I see your profile, for me, it's like, okay, I see the human side of you, because honestly, from a very, let's say, a very layman's perspective, when we think of a diplomat or somebody who's working at the embassy, we get easily intimidated. But then you being in a public relation, for us, it's like, you feel very welcoming, and it's not very intimidating for us to come and approach you. And the way you're showing love for our country, it shows that, you're here for us.
I appreciate you saying that. And honestly, it's 100% sincere. I came to Nepal. My first time in Nepal was 20 years ago as kind of this young lost backpacker. Landing here in Kathmandu, taking a bus to Pokhara, and trekking to Annapurna Base Camp, and just falling in love with Nepal at that time, and just being so lucky to come back for more treks, studying in a monastery back in 2016, and now just here officially representing my country. A complete honor, and I just feel such a genuine, sincere connection with Nepal and its people. I feel so grateful to be here, and just I'm happy to share what I'm seeing as I go about exploring the country. And these great experiences.
That's amazing. Mike, you're the public affairs chief at the U.S. Embassy Nepal, and like Asmi mentioned, you're my brother. That's how I take it.
Thank you, brother.
And your social media has also shaped that as well, because you share about the country that we love. And you love too, and you've been loving us for the past 20 years. You were here in 2006, right?
Yeah.
And thanks for doing that. And like Asmi mentioned, you're a part of us. Right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it is sincere from the bottom of my heart.
That's beautiful. Show his Instagram. I just want to touch base on something that I just saw, Mike. For the go to the pinned picture, the pinned one. Yeah. Mike, tell us a little bit about is this Lobuche?
Yeah, so I summited Lobuche East during Tihar, so November last year. I, having gotten a taste of the Himalayas back in 2006, climbing in the Annapurnas, I knew I had to get back into the mountains.
Wow.
I had this dream of someday climbing Everest, actually. Hopefully it can happen one day, but some really good friends of mine just advised, like, Mike, you might want to do a little bit of a test and see if your body can actually handle this. So I'm so grateful I followed that person's advice, and I set out to climb Lobuche. So for about 4 months, I had a pretty solid training regime, lots of leg day, lots of Stairmasters, wore this mask that restricted the oxygen as I climbed the Stairmaster, just to kind of simulate the physical intensity of that climb. And I tell you, it was just such a proud moment to summit that at sunrise during Tihar.
This is 6,119
right? Meters. Lobuche, yeah. So a little over 20,000 feet.
Yeah.
And I trekked with Seventh Summit Treks. It was led by Pasang Sherpa and a really great team. And just, look it up there. So just at sunrise, waving the Nepali an American flag with Everest and other mountains in the background there. Yeah, just such an incredible experience. And really just, it was nice, honestly, guys, to just have like a physical challenge, because I think these days we are so cerebral, we're so digital, right? And that's just kind of the reality. But to have a physical goal, set out to train for it and actually accomplish it. I mean, that's something everybody still needs to have in their life, some kind of physical challenge, and to meet that challenge.
Yeah, and it's so great. And best of luck for Everest. I hope you summit it this year.
One of these days, we'll see.
Asmi, do you have any specific challenges in mind?
Definitely not climbing peak. I wish I could, though, but I've not been to mountains, as in, like, I've not really hiked or trekked ever since 2014. But I really want to. Actually, I am in talks with someone I know I don't know if you know Sanjay ji from Pahari.
Yeah, I know Sanjay from Pahari.
So we're
Yeah,
good friends.
I know.
So he's telling us that he's gonna take us to EBC. So
awesome.
maybe
That's cool.
That
The
is in the
spring?
bucket list.
The spring?
Let's see.
If you go
let's
this
see.
spring, you might meet both of us.
Yeah.
You're also planning to. Be
Well, he's climbing if he does.
So
Then you're gonna go.
regardless, the embassy is also hosting an adventure tourism summit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, called Summit, the Ascent Summit. And so it's bringing together extreme sports athletes and folks who have summited Everest for a big expo at the end of May.
Wow.
However, in the lead up to that, we'll hopefully do an American technology demonstration and help assist with a mountain cleanup at Everest Base Camp as well. So we'll hopefully be out there in April doing the lead up to this Ascent Summit.
Nice.
Is it okay if I ask, are we getting a drone? Are we getting, or anything similar to that as well? A tech
Yeah, so
related?
we're hoping to have a tech angle to that. So bringing in American technology and having an American UAV lead this cleanup effort, and also maybe do something fun like deliver a pizza or a beverage up to some of the climbers. Oxygen tanks, maybe, but a pizza for sure.
right.
Bring it up to the climbers.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's super cool. One of my favorite things to do in whenever I get time is to look at travel videos of friends who travel all around the world, especially friends who travel within Nepal. And we have some people in the Mela as well. What kind of content do you watch when you get time, Ashmi? When you get time,
on social media in general.
Yeah.
Any actually. I love. I mean, see, for me, it's work, right? So even though when I'm just scrolling back in my head, I'm constantly thinking, okay, what can I do? What is the new thing that I can try for my feed? So that is how I get my ideas. So any content that I see, mostly funny.
You learn from creators. That's what you're
Yeah.
trying to say.
I mean, every new content I see in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, what is the creator trying to convey, or how is it being shot, or how is she able to get these many views? So for me, it's always work when I'm scrolling, and that is something that I noticed, because for some people it may not be, so they may think it's just mindless scrolling.
Yeah.
For me, I'm scrolling, and at the same time I'm collecting ideas.
Learning at the same time as well. Tell us a little bit about Asmi Shrestha Interiors and how has social media helped your company?
Oh my God, it's helped me a lot, because in Asmi Shrestha Interiors, my personal brand, Asmi Shrestha, is already there. So it's kind of a cross-marketing thing that I do. And that is how I feel like I've generated,
This is your
That's
Instagram
my
handle,
page.
right?
It's slowly growing. So I do a lot of collab posts so that I can boost this page and also let my followers know that I'm an active interior designer.
Yeah.
So it's been very fruitful for me. I never thought I could do this, but now that I'm able to do this, I want to establish myself more as an interior influencer as well in coming days. So that is what I'm working on.
That's really nice. Hey,
This
Ashmi.
is the recent store that I delivered
Casa,
for
right?
Casa.
Ashmi, I'm doing a new set. I'm gonna ask your help. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Mike, something for the new house whenever you move in.
Yeah, I could
Or
use some
the
assistance.
embassy,
Yeah.
just always remember me. So this is the handover that I did for my client.
This is the
Ramila
latest
Didi
one?
and Barsha. Yes.
Yeah,
The
beautiful.
recent handover.
Where is this, Ashmi?
This is in Panipokuri.
Okay, I've been to their other store in Patan.
That I also did that. So this is their second store that I'm doing. Hopefully more in coming days, because they want to expand. So I'm mostly specializing on retail interior design.
So let me understand the economy behind this, all right? And so somebody watching this, I just mentioned that I might take help from you. We'll work out
Yeah.
something together. Maybe down the road, Mike, or anything else we're doing within the American Embassy. Maybe
I'll do my
we could
pitch
plan that
first.
out. Yeah, she'll do the pitch. But this is a good way to showcase your work,
Yeah.
right?
So for me, like my personal brand, it felt like, okay, it's reached to that. I feel like me as Asmi Shrestha, it's in that maturity phase. You know what I mean?
Okay.
In a product cycle. But with this, we have just started. So I feel like this can also eventually contribute in my personal branding. So I'm trying to take it side by side. Let's see where this goes.
That's very, very, very interesting, when we look back at it. And when you talk with creators, Mike, right? I just want to touch base on this. What do they think of not just the Mela, but in general, when you sit down with creators for the past, this is probably the 4th edition of the Creators Mela that we're doing,
the 4th
right?
iteration.
Right. So again, you've spoken with so many creators. Some have their own business, like Asmi has her own business. When you sit with them, what's the thought process? Like, what do they say to you as well?
I think at this stage, I think they're really looking for practical guidance from mentors.
Yeah.
So, and also if you're trying to get a brand deal, for example, what do these companies actually think of your work and your page, for example? So, again, with the Mela, we have one of the panels is Pitch for Success, where we will have members from the business community, including Cabinet Shrestha from Agni Group, for example, hearing people pitching their pages and them as a brand, essentially, and just getting honest feedback. And I think that's really what we need right now, right? It's great to have that encouragement and that positivity, but we need practical guidance and advice to really scale up our pages and our businesses. So I think people are hungry for actionable, practical advice at this point.
Exactly what Ashmi mentioned as well. She's building up her page as well. Even though she has a humongous personal profile, but she's trying to build her page as well as she goes along.
Right. It's funny because I think a lot of us operate on our gut and our instinct, which is great. It's like kind of the energy that we feel too, but also we need to get the insights from experts too and get their energy and their insights and how to make it even better.
True that. And I want to give a big shout out to Cabinet Dai, and she's a very good friend of the show, and Mahindra and Agni being a part of, I believe they're the sponsors for the Mela this year.
Right. They're one of the sponsors for the Mela, along with a bunch of other amazing companies, including Mahindra with Agni Group, and also Encell, Visa as well, and a bunch of other companies were lining up, and really just helping expand our reach. The embassy, I think it can create a great platform, but it's really just, I think as we see the evolution for the Mela, it's becoming more of like a vehicle for the private sector to join on to and help reach their audiences as well.
I think I had a list of it: Mahindra, Visa, Encell, Siddhartha Bank, Monoram Group, and Nepal Distilleries.
Right.
Monoram is also there.
Right.
Nothing is possible without supporters. Nothing. Not the show, not the Mela, not anything we do. We need supporters and friends to come together and support us in something greater.
And I think, frankly, just from my perspective, coming from the embassy, as we work with finite resources. But also working with groups who want to reach those same audiences, just how can we create synergies between companies to reach the same audiences and help communities? Because I think really the focus for the embassy right now is just creating opportunities right here home in Nepal for Nepali people. And I'm sure plenty of businesses in the private sector have that same goal too. Yeah. So just how can we pool our resources together and connect that? Yeah.
I think the pool of creators that are involved are also very diverse, and which is why I'm I'm seeing so many new creators that I didn't know of, but I want to know of. Yeah. And they're doing so good. Like if I look it up, then they would already be doing their, they would be excelling at their field already, but we don't know of. So Hamilai Pani, there's a lot of things that we're getting to know from this Mela.
No doubt on that. I have a list of, I have names of all the creators that the team gave it to me. And look at this, the whole list of creators, right?
Very diverse.
Being honest, Mike, there are some creators that I looked up. Some creators I didn't know either. Yeah. Being very honest, because I also have to learn.
Yes.
Right. Get to know new young creators, and then there are a few creators that I marked down, and I'm going to invite them to the show.
Okay.
To the podcast. Because I love their content. And thanks to the Mela for making this possible. Now, tell me something. Since we talked about this, who is the Mela? Who is the Mela for? Like who can come for the Mela? Like anybody can come to the Mela, or how does it work?
The Mela is for everybody. It's completely free and open to the public. And all we do is just ask people to come to the embassy website, our social media pages, click on the link and register for it. It's that simple.
How can they do that if somebody is watching? Because the Mela is scheduled for 17th of Jan in Chitwan, which is coming Saturday. Then next Saturday is Nepalgunj. And then after that, it's Kathmandu.
Yep. So just follow us on Facebook on our U.S. Embassy Nepal Facebook page and click on the event for the Creators Mela to register. Or you can follow us on Instagram too and just click on the link in the bio to register for the Mela.
Show it to everybody, Mr. X, if you could show it to everybody how they can. Oh, there you go. You can just go to the Insta page of the embassy and then press on, there you go. Click on that and you can just go ahead and sign up, right?
Yep, that's right.
There you go. That's the first one. And then you can just sign up. You have to sign up for every single, go to the page, boys. Then you can just go ahead and sign up here. And you can just pick Chitwan, Nepalgunj, or Kathmandu, or come to all three.
It's individual by city. So if you do want to register for multiple cities, just use your other email account to register for that. Yeah. And just to note for Kathmandu, we have a side room for workshops. And so people should register in advance for those more intimate workshops, getting tutorials from creators. Cool. For example, like Shushma Karki, huge across social media. She'll be leading a makeup tutorial, for example, at one of our workshops.
No, that's fantastic. Asmi, last time when we spoke, right? Just look up when was the last time Asmi came to the show. You had not started interviewing people at that time.
No. Oh my God. I was in a totally different phase. But I was transitioning, as far as I remember, because Laijao Malai was a big turning point for me. Ever since I did that, I was going through something. So ever since that, I think I've stepped into, I would say, another level in my perspective.
How has doing this show, we met in 2022 January, right? Along the same date.
2022.
That was a good solid 4 years ago.
4 years. Oh my God.
So
a lot has happened.
I want Mr. X show Ashmi's show to everybody. Okay. I want to understand this, and I want my audience to actually know how has doing the show that you do, which comes on YouTube, all right? It's on YouTube, so it's on social media. How has that actually changed you as a person?
Well, in many ways. First of all, I have become more confident, I would say, because I know I'm someone who's I didn't used to be as confident when it comes to speaking. Remember, in Miss Nepal, I was very, very, very scared, and people didn't really understand. She keeps saying that she's scared, but she's in this platform. How can she bring that up as an excuse is what people used to tell me. But then there I was trying to overcome my fear, trying to prove otherwise, because I wanted to be like you. I wanted to be a confident speaker someday. So, which is why when I said yes to Wow Saturday Brunch, I know I'm someone who likes to hear people's stories. I like to have conversation. So I said yes in that way. And then I was like, my fear of speaking, I'll just see what I can do about it, which is how I went ahead with it. Sometimes you just need to jump and then figure out what to do. That is what I did. And I feel like I've really grown. And not just that, meeting people from different field, different background. It's like, before I call a guest, before I invite a guest, I may have a very different perspective about them. But when I sit down with them, when I talk about them, about life, about work, about career, my perspective towards them is totally transformed. And that is what I love about this job, that I get to know people from a different perspective, very up close. And then that is what I get to show to the world, a different side to them. That is what I've learned from this. And I feel like I'm going to do more of this in coming days.
We hope you do. And we really hope that you share this story with more creators at the Creators Mela and beyond.
Yeah.
Because taking that risk, taking that leap of faith, trying to do something new, that too digitally.
Yes. अनि दाइ मैले सोचेकै थिएन कि यसले मलाई रिब्रान्डिङमा कति हेल्प गर्छ भनेर के, because again, after a point, it does get stagnant. People will be like, okay, it's the same face. I'm not planning to do acting. I'm not entering film industry, because generally that is the trajectory for many people, right? Like modeling, acting, and then you go on ahead. For me, it was like, okay, I don't want to enter film industry, but how do I still rebrand myself?
Yeah.
Then this was the place where I rediscovered myself. And that is what people know me for these days. When I go out, people are like, oh my God, I love the interviews that you take. I love the kind of, I mean, the different side of you that we get to see on Wow Saturday Brunch. So that itself excites me so much. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is the key, that you keep rediscovering yourself if you want to be in this field for a long time. Because see how you've done it over the time. How long has it been that you've done this?
For me, that's a great question. I joined the media in 2008. So it's been 18 years for me, but I transitioned.
Sure before that,
2008. So I transitioned I started my career from the radio, and then I transitioned to television.
Funny thing.
Yes.
Maybe in 2008. Yeah, I did my first magazine cover back then in 2008.
Mike, did you start in the media back in 2000?
Yeah. So, living in Los Angeles, you're kind of in Hollywood and surrounded by all of that. And so I actually got my start at a television news station called Channel 1 News, which for its time was kind of a mix between MTV, MTV, right?
Yeah.
So like this kind of like young, energetic feel to it. MTV meets CNN. So a lot of international reporting, but with a more youthful angle to it. And so I wasn't on camera. I remember, this is embarrassing. I remember, so I was a researcher and then an associate producer at this network doing stories like on human trafficking, drug trafficking, kind of these bigger investigative news stories. I had this, inspiration to be in front of the camera, however, and I auditioned one day, and I was honestly, guys, I was just so completely lost because I'm in the soundstage, the studio in Hollywood across the street from Paramount Pictures. So this huge lot. And, I'm used to seeing it from behind the camera, all the presenters, reading the teleprompter, reading the scripts that I've helped write and produce. But to be in front of the camera, like deer in the headlights, completely lost because, I'm looking at a teleprompter. They're telling me to walk towards the teleprompter and read. But then at this line, I'm looking over here, and then I'm looking over here to read the line. And honestly, I was completely lost. And, watching that audition video was just so embarrassing. And then talking to my executive producer afterwards, he was like, you know what, Mike, like, I think you work out a lot, and just like working out, it takes a lot of practice. You've got a lot of potential, but I think you just keep practicing. And that was kind of just like a nice way to, inspire me and push me to work a little bit harder. And it's, that definitely has motivated me in the work that I do now. And that I'm doing podcast interviews. And so this, just being mindful of the whole production process, your presence on camera, that moment back at that TV station sticks with me to this day. Wow. And just in terms of how I'm presenting myself to the camera. And I think it really takes those kinds of moments in our life, those kind of embarrassing learning experiences to really help push us forward.
True. No shadow of doubt.
I'm sure you've got moments like that too.
Very similar to that. I remember back in Nepal television when my first day at the job, and I remember one of my producers coming and telling me, if you get nervous, I'll never forget this. If you get nervous, just look at the red light on top of the camera. But don't stare at it. So every camera used to have a red light, and then whenever the red light's on, that means that camera is focused on you. So just look at the red light and just go for it, but don't stare at it, because once you start staring at it, you're gonna completely forget what you want to say. So that's something that I take with me for the rest of my life. Like just don't get fixated on it, but actually just observe it. Know that it's the presence of the camera and the presence of the microphones there, and then just let your heart out. And that was something I learned.
It's amazing to see how far you've come, Sanjay Dai, and how you've been able to build your brand, Vyas. It's come very far. And अहिलेसम्म कतिवटा गर्नुभयो होला क्या तपाईँले यो च्यानलको थ्रुमा चाहिँ how many people have you interviewed so far?
This is a very, very great question, and I want to mention this not just because Mike is here and Mike represents the US Embassy, right? I was a connection, Mike, that both of us have. I saw a studio similar to this in Los Angeles. when I was there back in the day. And I asked the person, like, what kind of studio is this? Because I had only seen either a big, humongous television studio or a small music studio where you could record songs. I had never seen a studio similar to this where people sit down and have a conversation and there's a camera there. Because radio stations don't have cameras where I used to work. Television stations have a different setup. So it was a combination between a television and a radio. And I was very fascinated by it. And then the person mentioned to me, oh, it's a podcast studio, but it's a video podcast studio. And it was just taking off at that time around the world. And I was like, man, I should get this. I should have this in the country that I was born, the country that I love. And again, backtrack, COVID happened. Obviously, it was a perfect time for me to sit down with my friends and, just understand what's going on, understand what they're going through. And that's how it actually started. I just wanted to sit down with my friends and have a good time. Just learn, soak in things, get out of the box and have a conversation longer than the specific format of 1 hour, or 30 minutes without breaks. That's how it started, and we've got this far. And I'm glad that we played a role in we're one of the first ones, not the first one of the first ones to make it commercial in Nepal. But now there are multiple podcasts, and anywhere in the country I go and somebody just looks up, hey, you're the podcast गर्ने dai, the brother who does podcast. And I'm like, okay.
Sanjay Gupta equals to podcast.
Podcast by.
Podcast by and podcast day.
तपाईले यस्तो पडकास्टको कल्चर स्ट्याब्लिश गर्नुभयो कि हामी वाउ स्याटरडे ब्रन्चमा वी वर्क सो हार्ड फर द भिजुअल्स एन्ड देल बी लाइक ओ दिदी तपाईँको पडकास्ट हेरेँ थिएँ लाइक डेम द्याट्स नट अ पडकास्ट देयर इज अ डिफरेन्स लाइक यु गाइज शुड अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड वाट अ पडकास्ट इज एन्ड वाट अ सो इज यहाँ चाहिँ एभ्रीबडी थिङ्क्स द्याट एभ्री सो इज अ पडकास्ट नाउ इट्स बिकम another word for any show.
I love it because the word podcasting started with, there's a very famous video of Steve Jobs where he explains it to everybody. I love Steve Jobs, right? I love talking about Steve Jobs, where it's a combination between iPod, the pod from the iPod, and then the broadcast cast. So you put a pod and a cast together. So that's how it actually started.
I didn't know. That makes sense.
And now everybody knows. So that was the thing, and now bringing that culture here, and I learned it from the US, and I'm grateful for that.
Just another good example of traveling somewhere new, traveling to the United States, seeing some of the innovations there in whatever industry, in the media industry in this case, and taking it back and making it your own here.
And I'm so happy that creators get to learn about it. I've been a part of the Creators Mela for the past 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And I've sit down with creators who've asked me questions back in the day. Now some of the creators have their own podcast, and that makes me happy. Now traditional media has their own podcast. That makes me even more happy that
you're a pioneer for sure.
They've taken it over. I'm just a guy who just wanted to sit down with friends,
which is nice.
And you two will have a chance to discuss that at the Mela, right? You'll be on a panel talking about your public image versus the real you, and where the lines blur in that in your.
I'm very excited for the panel that I'm going to be part in Chitwan. So the title is Confessions of a content creator. So
Confessions of a content creator.
It's very interesting. I think Lex is our moderator. So Lex is gonna ask some fun questions. I'm really looking forward to it. Plus, I'm born in I was born in Chitwan.
Oh, really? Awesome. Okay.
I didn't know that.
I was born in Chitwan. So it's very special for me that a big event like this is happening in Chitwan. So I'm very excited. And I feel like people from Chitwan are also excited to see me because that is the kind of response I'm getting. So I'm very excited.
Is there a way to describe Chitwan creators?
Well, we I feel like they're very expressive. They're quite forward.
I've heard that. Yeah.
They don't hesitate to express. I don't know many of them, but I know that there are a lot of creative people there. When it comes to designers, when it comes to makeup, a lot of them very confident. They don't hesitate to show what they're good at. So yeah. We're going to see many of them like that.
Awesome. So it'll be a bit of a homecoming in a way.
Yeah, going back home.
Super excited. That is why on 16th, 17th, I'm busy with the event. And then after that, I'm going to just go explore.
No, love it. You're going to Saura?
Yes. Saura is basically where my dad used to take me always after school. And my dad used to run a hotel there. So I literally grew up in the bank of Rapti River. So,
awesome.
We used to play khola mein khelthyo. We used to cycle around. So Chitwan is home.
I really didn't know that you were born in Chitwan and you grew up in Chitwan. That's something
for
that
13 years. I did my schooling there.
You're going back home?
Yeah.
Thanks
my families
to
are there.
Creators Mela,
Yeah,
Mike, have you traveled Chitwan?
I have. That was actually the first place I went to in this assignment here. I went there just to go check out the national park, stayed along the river, saw the rhinoceroses in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't. No tigers though. I looked for some tigers. They never appeared through the mist. Are they actually there?
I've not had the chance either to spot a tiger in Chitwan. I really want to. Though.
Maybe this time. You never know. Last time when you were here, I remember you were here with Kishore Dai.
Yeah.
And
Kishore Dai,
gem of a guy.
Yeah,
one of the
great guy.
Best photographers we have in Nepal. How was the experience of when you look back at it now, Mike? Right? What did you learn from Lomantang? What did you learn from Mustang? And are we still doing more projects there?
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, I can't believe that was just a year ago that we were on this podcast with Kishore. It feels like time has just flown by.
Yeah.
Just an incredible experience with Kishore. We went up there around October, November 2024 because the U.S. Embassy was sponsoring his work to capture the change that has across the landscapes in Mustang. And we had an exhibit at the Nepal Art Council January in 2025. So incredible, huge panoramas, probably like 12 to 15 feet wide. Did you see the exhibit?
I was there.
Yeah, you feel like you could walk into these photos that he captured over the years. And so some of the photos included projects that were supported by the American Embassy, including at Logekar Monastery in Mustang, which is believed to be the oldest Tibetan Buddhist monastery in the world. Right. So through U.S. Embassy support, we helped with the rebuilding the infrastructure of the monastery, but being in line with the traditional practices of building these monasteries, and also helping restore some of the murals there as well.
Mike, mention it to me again so that we can search it, we can Google it again. I really want to see some pictures of it now.
Logekar Monastery.
Logekar Monastery. Look it up, boys.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day. I remember a gist of it, but now as soon as you mentioned that it's in the world, one of the oldest, I just want to go ahead and this is the one.
Yep, that's it.
The one?
I remember the entrance.
Oh, I remember you showed me a picture of this.
Yeah. And just really a powerful experience to walk through those. I mean, to trek into this monastery and to have people from the village singing singing to us, welcoming us into the monastery. And
then go to the next picture, the one look at that. Is this Mike, is this inside similar?
Yep. And there's actually Kishore Dai took a photo of one of the deities inside of there, and the deity has just such an intense, powerful gaze in his eyes, and so when you look into that photo, you feel that intense connection that he captured. And we had the good chance of going back to Mustang in May last year with Ambassador Thompson. So Ambassador Thompson led the official inauguration, reopening of this monastery because the work had just completed. And then we went up to Lomantang and visited the ancient palace as well as Chod Monastery, which we're also doing another project project to help restore artifacts at that monastery. So just a lot of incredible culture and religious traditions that we're helping protect up there in Mustang.
This is from Kishore Dai's page, if I'm not mistaken. Show us a few more pictures just to touch base on this. Wow.
So beautiful.
Are you going back, Mike, this year?
Hopefully this year, in the spring or maybe later in the year. I know TG Festival is every May, right?
Yeah.
So we had the chance to see part of the festival and hoping to go back later this year.
Have you been, Asmi, to Mustang yet?
Yes, but not Upper Mustang.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
We went for the shoot of TGIF. The last time I went there was...
Till Jomsom Kagbini?
No, it was, I think, on the way to Upper Mustang, but
Okay.
just till midway. And we had a very beautiful shoot there. The main campaign of the last TGIF that we did, it was me, Asta, Sabita, and Samragi. And we
Beautiful.
had such a blast. Oh my God. But shooting there was quite intense because of the wind and the sun, but we pulled it off.
Did you feel the altitude at all?
No,
No,
it was
okay.
fine for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had been to Mustang before, so I could I knew what to expect. Is this working? Because
what's
मेरा
wrong?
तो एकदम त्यो quiet
calm भइरहेछ।
I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything?
मतलब, अब
You
it's
okay?
fine.
You're
Yeah.
fine?
So we
All right.
lost it.
And we're coming back?
Yeah, now
All
it's
right.
fine.
No, I'm glad we came back.
Okay.
No, the thing is, Mike, the question that you just asked, right? I want to reframe that and ask you that. Did you feel the altitude at Lobuche?
I felt it at 4,500 meters. So it took me 8 days for the whole trek. So maybe by like day 5 in the evening, I started to have this kind of light headache and I just couldn't sleep at all. And so the team from Seven Summit Treks was like, Mike, don't take Diamox. So Diamox is this medication you can take which helps to deal with altitude sickness.
Yeah.
Basically, it just brings more oxygen into your blood. But I was, following their advice all the way and did not take it until 4,500 meters. And then I slept like a baby and had the energy to summit properly. But just with that, I think it was... I think up until that, the whole trek was kind of like a balance of your ego because you're at lower elevations. Maybe you're going faster than some people, slower than some people. It's like, I can do this. I'm faster than that person. I got this. But then, morning, like at midnight, you get up day of the summit and you have these heavy boots on with crampons, these spikes on your boots so you can trek through the ice. Your Jumerang, which is like you have this attachment to a rope to haul yourself up the mountain. And at that point, I think the ego just flips from confidence and to absolute like uncertainties. Like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Can I actually do this? Because you can't see the mountain, you can't see the peak at all. You're complete darkness, and your every breath matters because you're like,
Oh my God.
with each step as you trek up there. And so really you just got to tell yourself, yes, I can do this. The training that you've done matters. Follow the training and you will get up there one step at a time. It's cliche, but it's so true up there.
I remember asking a friend of mine, he's a fantastic helicopter pilot in Nepal, and he climbed Mount Everest. And then I remember asking him, I think 2 days after he climbed, he was in my studio. It was one of my first podcasts I did back in the day. And what went in your mind is what I asked him when you're climbing Everest or any peak. Mike, the same question to you. What went through your mind?
As I summited, it was just, it was doubts, uncertainty, and that like, wait a minute, maybe I actually can't do this. Maybe I was too confident. Maybe I should just stop and turn around right now and cut my losses.
Yeah.
But then, having the support of the team with you saying like, you've got this, Mike, you can do this. The physical reaction, the altitude sickness you're feeling right now, it's all a part of the process. Everybody goes through this. So just having the reassurance from your team behind you makes such a difference. And so that really helped me get to the top. And so again, when I reached the summit, as the sun was rising, I was just so, honestly, I haven't been that proud in a long time. And just in terms of like an actual achievement.
Yeah.
Again, because everything is so cerebral in what we do, but to have that physical accomplishment was just a nice feeling. And it was kind of funny too, in that, like for me, I'm just this, American guy and, climbing up this somewhat technical climb. For everybody else on the team, it was just like another Saturday.
Walk in the park.
Saturday for them. And like we had the drone up. So like the footage that you were showing is, great drone photography. The guys, they were flying it without gloves. So so I'm up there, this heavy suit, expensive thick gloves, and they're like flying the drone like it's no problem. It's like they could stay up there for another couple hours probably, but like I'm smiling there, but I'm freezing. I'm freezing actually as we're waving.
That looks scary.
That does look scary. There's so much I take from people who climb peaks, and all of us have our own peaks to climb, right?
Yeah.
You actually went and climbed one. I remember my friend mentioning that what went through your mind, and he goes like, well, I was just trying to figure out where to put my next foot.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a difference too, because I think in preparation months in advance, you've kind of like go through the scenario of like, okay, what if this happens? What if this happens? But when it comes to the actual moment, it really is just like that next breath and that next step that you're going to take.
Yeah, right. And that's something that I took from you as well.
Have you ever thought of climbing?
Yeah, come on, man. You got it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I climbed Shirupuri the other day and my calves are like killing me right now. So I don't know how you did it.
Well, that's a good beginning.
It's a stepping stone.
There's panthers there too, right? In the evening, they emerge.
I'm happy doing 2,700 meters. I'll get there.
But that's you. Yesterday.
That was 3 days ago. No, being at the apex, right?
Yeah.
That's the best feeling, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Being at the top, if you get there, that's the best feeling. Or even if you don't, like at least trying.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling. Don't you think so?
Absolutely. And it's more, and honestly, I think it's also kind of just the chase too, right? It's not, I mean, the physical chase in this sense for the mountain, but also just professionally and whatever that we're doing. Ashmi talks about, like she reached the pinnacle in her career at one point, but like, what is the next mountain to climb? Yeah. And I think that's a good hunger to have, a good ambition to have, right?
Yeah.
Kind of that restlessness is a good restlessness that
right
takes you to
after that, you just start with another.
Yeah.
You reached the biggest apex, right? Like being Miss Nepal 2016. That's what you.
Yeah.
That's what you. I remember that. That's really something that you
back then,
really wanted.
It meant everything to me. I was in disbelief that I won because of the struggle that was there during the camp.
I remember this moment. I believe I announced it.
Yeah, you announced it.
And yeah, there you go.
Oh.
So how did it feel in that moment?
Yeah.
Again, went blank. I just couldn't believe. I thought it was a very dream come true moment for me, because I think the teenage me would always dreamt of becoming Miss Nepal. And for me, when the moment happened, I was like, oh my God, it's happening now. But then I think I went blank. It was a lot of emotions, feelings. I cried a little. Then I saw my family. Then I cried a little more. Then suddenly all the cameras and the flashes, I was like, oh my God, this is it. Now, then definitely it changed. They say that life changes overnight. And back then it used to be more intense. Do you remember?
I know.
It used to be more intense. You suddenly, right after the photo shoots, you're taken to a national television studio right after. And for a young girl who's never done that before, it's crazy. It's crazy. It seems like oh my God, ke bhako jasto huncha.
One advice that you have for a young Asmi who's listening right now, who's watching right now?
Have fun. Be carefree. Don't think so much about the result, because sometimes you're so stuck up on that you forget to enjoy the process. I feel like I missed out on a lot of things because I overthought about it.
Yeah.
And now the change in me is that I don't think too much. I just go ahead. But that doesn't mean I'm reckless. Of course, I plan things ahead, but I want young if I could do it again, I want young Asmi to have more fun. And then I would have probably been more confident back then, more than I am right now.
The apex that you're trying to reach, and like what Mike was mentioning earlier, I really liked what you said earlier. All of us have our own peaks that we are trying to get to, right? What next for you? And also touching base on this, Asmi, especially digitally. What next for you? What else do you want to do within social media and personally within our ecosystem of being an entrepreneur? I remember meeting you constantly. We meet at places where you're doing business, where you're trying to do their interior, you're trying to take care of this
Sanjay,
business, right?
my endorsements are also business. Okay? I don't know how people look at it, but for me, it's like every other modeling job that I do is also business for me because I am, trading my brand with them. I never look at it as just another photo shoot. That is why I really go in depth. Like I make an effort to talk with the client. I make an effort to make them feel that, hello, just because I know you hired me, but it's not just my face or my, not a random modeling shoots that I'm doing for you. I literally care for your brand. And that is what I try to show and establish in every work that I do. I think the next for me as a creator and as an entrepreneur is to go forward with my own. So in interiors, this is not it that I want to do. I just don't want to establish myself as an interior designer. I want to establish myself as an interior designer influencer. I want to have a decor brand of my own. So I've got a whole vision for myself, which is why I was really impressed with the theme this time of Creators Mela, Vision to Venture, because that should be the end goal for everybody. You should not just be randomly creating content. Maybe, in the beginning you should, but after a point you should have a path. You should have a strategy. You should have an end goal. You should know what to make out of it. Otherwise, there's no point. You're just gonna make few money, maybe few bucks from few projects, but you won't go. It won't go for the longer run.
It has to be sustaining.
Sustaining hunu paryo. There needs to be vision. Okay? And I'm glad that through Creators Mela, you guys are trying to establish that because that's very important. That's what I think I did with my own, my social media, my social presence. That is what I'm trying to do. And I would love to let, young creators know about it as well.
Mike, the future of Creators Mela. All right, let me ask you that. Right?
Yeah.
This is the fourth year.
Yeah, the fourth generation of it.
What's the future of it? What do you think is going to happen in the coming decade?
No promises, but what I'm really hopeful is just to make the Creators Mela regional and perhaps international. We already have a lot of strong interest from influencers and creators in the United States. Hopefully we can bring some out to participate or just observe the Mela. But really, I think the model that we've created with the Creators Mela can easily be replicated by other embassies, other American embassies in the region, and also internationally. It's not just a Nepal thing. I think
so. It's never happened before anywhere else.
No, never.
Wow.
Oh, this is the first one.
Yeah, so
first time
Nepal
in Nepal
is the only country doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of the kind for the U.S. government to sponsor such an initiative, and I think it's just been a nice evolution as well. In that it started off as this embassy creation, working with all of the best creators locally.
Yeah.
It's expanded a little bit across Nepal, and hopefully we can just start working with the private sector, more private sector companies in Nepal, but also getting influencers internationally to be a part of this. And I think easily this model can be replicated in any country and
around the world.
You name it.
And also to take Nepali creators all around the world, especially in the US, so that they could go ahead and learn from creators in the US as well. That's going to be a big thing too.
Absolutely. I mean, just there's so much talent in every industry here in Nepal and also within the Nepali diaspora, especially in the Nepali American diaspora too.
Yeah.
So plenty of opportunity to grow the Mela and, see how it evolves. I think it's up to everybody to shape its evolution.
US top priorities in Nepal, Mike, since we're in this topic, what are the top priorities in the coming year and in the coming years? Economic development, that's definitely, I believe, is one of the top ones. Anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, economic and commercial diplomacy is such an important focus for us at the American Embassy, really just helping create opportunities here locally for Nepali for Nepalis to improve and better their communities right here. And so through the Mela, we're demonstrating that, and also just doing a lot of commercial diplomacy initiatives with the private sector and with the American Chamber of Commerce in Nepal as well. Yeah, AmCham.
Beyond the Mela, again, hot topic as always. Where does MCC stand now? What's the latest with MCC? What's happening? If you're okay with talking about it.
Yeah, we know we're seeing a lot of great progress with MCC right now. In October, November last year, Ambassador Thompson was at a groundbreaking ceremony near Nepal, and nearly $500 million in contracts have been awarded for the MCC projects right now. So all the major contracts
fully committed.
Right now. Yeah, fully committed. So we, especially with the 18-kilometer road project and the substations across Nepal as well. So a lot of tangible on-the-ground progress that we're seeing with MCC.
And in the coming months, in the coming years, more things are going to come, more plans are going to come, more ideas are going to come beyond MCC as well to strengthen our relationship, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really, we want this to be an open conversation with the people of Nepal. So if they have an idea, feel free to reach out to us and share what that idea is. We have a great partner with the Development Finance Corporation, for example. So essentially, it's the DFC. And what the DFC does is it either takes equity or gives out low interest loans to companies in priority sectors. And so right now the focus really is on technology. So check out the DFC website for more specifics on that. But if companies have an idea and they're looking for business partners in particular spaces, we're open to having conversations on seeing how the United States can be a partner in that.
Very interesting. Do you have a session, Mike? You have a session in Chitwan?
No, I'll be introducing some folks and emceeing some of the events. I think like the one I'm slated for is with Ayushman Joshi and Priyanka Karki.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had a fun session last year, and I'll be introducing that one for now.
Awesome. And in Kathmandu, are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'll be doing that same session as well too.
Amazing. Yeah. No, we should plan something together. If we should take it in front of an audience.
What are you doing? What will you be
I have two specific sessions on this. I'm doing Kathmandu, so I have two sessions in Kathmandu, and I'm very excited for that. In one of the sessions, I'm the moderator, and in one of the sessions, I'm going in as a panelist as well. So I believe you're also a part of that too.
I am, but I've not gotten the full details yet.
Friday and Saturday. Mike, join us too if that works out.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
A fact. This is my first Creators Mela, so it's not my fourth or it's not my second. It's my first. So I'm super excited.
Since you mentioned, I'm going to mix it up. I completely don't know which one what I did on which one, but I remember sitting down at Aloft Hotel with a lot of friends. A one-to-one interaction, and then I did a presentation on the podcasting scene of Nepal. That's one thing that I did at one of the Creators Mela in, I believe, 22, if I'm not mistaken. In 23, I was a part of a larger audience where I did a similar presentation, but with the entire hall, where we shared about how the podcast has actually changed my life. And then on the latest Mela, I believe we're in Pokhara. If I'm not mistaken, we were in Pokhara and then got to interact with friends in Pokhara, which was amazing. All right. I remember Mr. Foodie and there was Priyanka and all of us sat down and we had a great time talking to friends in Pokhara. And then this year it's going to be, I'll be in Kathmandu.
You won't be in Chitwan though?
Not in Chitwan, but again, we'll plan it again.
But again, there's a big group of us traveling to Chitwan, so I'm very excited. I don't think there's been any event where so many creators are going to gather in one place, and that too outside of Valley. So it's going to be exciting. Like Chitwan's going to be buzzing. I know how I know that people are already excited there.
Mike, probably you don't know this, right? This is something that what Asmi just mentioned, even for you, Asmi, what you just said, right? All of us being coming together. That used to happen during concerts. We used to go all around the country when I was 15 years ago, 16 years ago, concerts. Right? A lot of bunch of singers and bunch of artists, me being a host, we used to go travel in the bus or go on the plane and go for big concerts. Now, imagining this now, that young creators, I was just looking at a big list of a huge list of creators. I want to show this to everybody, just so that people get perspective. This is a list of creators, and this is just one page of it. I have another page of creators too. Traveling across the country, together. Even in that bus or in that plane, ideas are going to come up, collaborations are going to happen, and that's going to bring a new set of change in this country. A new medium of sharing our thoughts and sharing our vision. That's going to start the moment you meet another creator.
Yeah, that is what I'm excited about. It's the energy is going to be next level.
Thanks for doing that, Mike. And thanks to the U.S. Embassy for doing this.
I'm glad that the U.S. Embassy can be the catalyst for these kinds of conversations and inspiration. And also, you mentioned concerts. It is a bit of a party too. We'll have some great performers at the shows. We have Sajan Rajvadia, we have Yabesh Thapa, Katav, Nitish Jung Kunwar, and Kabita Nepali and Eva Giri performing performing at these various cities. So it's going to be a party.
Yeah, it's I remember Pokhara. So again,
how was it?
Mark my words, it was really, really fun. It was really fun. So again, it's a combination of everything coming together, and there's going to be, I just want to say this to everybody who are watching, amazing YouTubers are going to be there. Amazing singers, talented people are going to be there. People who do business on Instagram, people who just create a lot of content on Instagram are going to be there. And overall, in general, amazing creators like Asmi, and so many other creators are going to be there. And again, this is going to be super fun. I'm
absolutely. All right. I hope everybody can take some time and just register and check out the event.
Show the website to everybody again so that everybody can just go ahead and do this. Ashmi, anything that I missed out on that you really wanted to share to my audience? Please feel free.
Anything? This is it. It was a good catch up after a while, Sanjay Dai. This was very much awaited for me because I do watch your podcast. For me, it's something that I play in the background when I'm getting ready. And then I really get inspired by all these people that you bring here and then all the conversations that you stir up. It's needed. The voice like yours is very much needed in our country. Even if it's a sensitive topic or a very, chill, laid back conversation, you pull it off all so well. And you're literally the voice of our generation. And I'm very happy that I'm sitting here with you again after 4 years.
No, that means so much, Asmi. Thank you so much for that. And I've seen you change and evolve. I've known you for what now? 16 years since 2010, right?
Yeah.
And the moments we've had and the conversations we've had.
RVL days देखियो जस्तो लाग्यो है. RVL days देखियो.
त्योभन्दा अलिकति अगाडि हो. Vutu days देखियो.
Oh my
Remember
God.
Vutu?
We go a long way back.
I used to run an event management company, so it's a very, very long time
We
ago.
did fashion shows together where he used to host.
Yeah.
And I was the runway model. So from there to Miss
Being
Nepal,
the Miss Nepal,
to
starting your own show,
having you on my show, and then coming back to yours again. So
you've really, Ashmi, you've really changed as a person. The amount of confidence that you have now, that I can see in your eyes, it's really, really amazing, Ashmi.
Yeah.
Like I feel so happy that I was a part of your life, on all the amazing things that you did. Thank you for having me, all right, on your show as well, and thank you for coming to
of course
the show
anytime. And then again, maybe we'll sit down again.
We will. No shadow of a doubt.
Another year or 2 years later.
Maybe sooner.
What are we gonna expect of you? What should we expect of you in coming years? Because you're also that person who always keeps evolving, bringing new things to the table. So what are we gonna see from you?
As a creator, that's a great question. As a creator, I would love to. I was mentioning this to Mike while you were on your way. After a certain months, certain years, I'll be traveling across Nepal. That's something that I really, really want to do. All 77 districts, and get to know the people, actually have a conversation with the grassroots people. That's something that's ingrained in me, and that's something that I'll be doing for, a span of time. And again, talking to creators from all around the country, that's something that I'm very excited to know more about, especially the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the upcoming, the next lot of Nepal, empowering them and actually learning from them and listening to them. That's something that I'm very excited about. And maybe we could collaborate and do something together as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. But if there's anybody who can do it, it's you, man. You just really have that right voice. You have the voice and the energy to do all that.
Thank you so much, Mike. Means so much. Creators Mela is here. What next for you, Mike? Everest, we know. What next? What next do you have in your mind? What next?
So, we're just really grateful for all the new public-private partnerships that we're forming with all of our commercial diplomacy projects. We've got great partners with the Adianta Fund Management, with 7 Summit Treks, with Youth Innovation Lab, with One to Watch Nepal, and the International Development Institute. So with all these different organizations doing a lot of commercial diplomacy projects, I mentioned that Adventure Tourism Summit coming up in May, and we just have a lot of great skill development, AI development related projects in the next year or so. So just so much opportunity here in Nepal. Really looking forward to getting out and traveling a bit and meeting people across the country and hearing their ideas and just seeing how America can be an even better partner for Nepal and creating opportunities right here in Nepal.
And we have to strengthen the relationship, and we have to make sure that, especially when it comes to new ideas and new innovation, America is the pinnacle of that. And we want to make sure that we get some part of that, even though we're far away, but we're still closer because of the internet and because of social media and because of our relationship and our ties. So we would definitely need to strengthen that.
And trust me, we talk to our team in Washington, D.C. constantly and sharing all the amazing projects that we're doing across the board, from commercial diplomacy to cultural heritage restoration. Nepal definitely is on the top of the list in terms of just the heavy hitter and in terms of delivering on all these projects. So if people have ideas, please share them with us, and we'll see what we can do and see if we can get the resources to support those ideas here in Nepal.
And I'm glad. So, Asmi, best of luck. You're going back home to Chitwan.
Go back home to Nepal.
Chitwan, right?
And then I'll meet you in Kathmandu again.
And we'll do the session in Kathmandu on the 30th. So one more time, a quick recap to everybody. This Saturday, it's going to be Chitwan. The next Saturday, it's going to be Nepalgunj. And the Friday and Saturday after that, it's going to be in Kathmandu.
That's right.
Right? Meet your favorite creators. Ashmi's going to be there. Mike's going to be there. I'm going to be there. And there you go. That's it. Thank you so much, guys.
See you, everybody.
See you guys. Thanks Sanjay.